What made you arrive at this conclusion that 17 lakh votes in 6 seconds? It's really unbelievable.
That's exactly the word to use. Unbelievable, incredible it is. And I term it as a miracle. And I want to explore if there is any mischief behind the miracle. Because, and let me frame it, Neelu. You see, and whatever I say now is entirely based on the data provided by the Election Commission of India in its portal.
Parakala sir, this really looks very mysterious. But the one question which comes to my mind is that 2024 Andhra Assembly elections happened along with the Lok Sabha election. But we did a lot of interviews with you on various platforms after that on Form 17 and several issues which were related to vote rigging and how the votes were spiked. But we did not speak to you about the Andhra specific numbers. Yeah. Are these numbers a new revelation, what you discovered in the course of time and now that you have laid it bare before the people?
You see, Neeluji, these are stunning figures. So when someone like me has to talk about this, they have to verify it at least 100 times. And I must add here, wherever I am prepared to stand up and be questioned, mercilessly questioned. Every data point, every word that I speak, I am prepared to be challenged.
Latest data about Andhra Pradesh, where you said that you wrote to Election Commission in the mid of February. After that, did you hear from the Election Commission any response?
No, not at all. Not at all. And I wrote about this only after waiting for about 15-20, for 3 weeks after I've written. 3 weeks I waited and then published an article in the Wire. Till then because I just wanted to, maybe, they have an explanation, credible explanation.
Hello and a warm welcome to HW News Network, your one-stop show, truth be told, for some engaging and thought-provoking conversations. I'm going to talk to you about some data today, which is going to be quite revealing. We've not spoken about that as yet, and it is a data which is related to Andhra Pradesh elections in 2024. Now, just hear me out very carefully. Nearly 17 lakh votes after midnight. Yes. This is a data which has been revealed that 17 lakh votes after midnight, and the votes were cast within 6 seconds. Can you imagine? Now, these were some of the unusual voting patterns which were flagged during a panel discussion in Delhi recently over the 2024 Andhra Pradesh Assembly elections. In the elections, the NDA led by Chandrababu Naidu's TDP got a decisive mandate, winning 164 of the 175 seats. Leading the charge, who said this, is renowned economist, columnist, and political commentator Parakala Prabhakar. And he has claimed that polling continued till 2 a.m. across 3,500 booths. This is what the latest claim by Parakala Prabhakar is. I'm just going to talk to you a little more about the data. Prabhakar has also claimed that the data painted a troubling picture. Around 4.16% of the total votes were cast between 11:45 p.m. and 2 a.m. Can you imagine? This is the period from 11:45 p.m. to 2 a.m. He said nearly 52 lakh votes were recorded between 8 p.m. and 2 a.m. More than 17 lakh votes were cast after midnight alone. He said that the most striking fact was that post-midnight, one vote was cast every 20 seconds. Now, what he exactly meant was that if EVMs take 14 seconds to reset, How were votes being cast in as little as 6 seconds? Can a voter realistically enter, vote, and exit in that time? This is what Parakala Prabhakar has said, and he concluded by underlining that something unusual happened after 8 p.m. So we thought of speaking to Parakala Prabhakar. He is there with us this evening. Thank you so much, sir, for joining on HW News Network. And these startling revelations which were made during a panel discussion in Delhi recently, especially the data related to Andhra Pradesh, what made you arrive at this conclusion that 17 lakh votes in 6 seconds? It's really unbelievable.
That's exactly the word to use. Unbelievable, incredible it is. And I term it as a miracle. And I want to explore if there is any mischief behind the miracle. Because, and let me frame it, Neelu. You see, and whatever I say now is entirely based on the data provided by the Election Commission of India in its portal. It is not, I'm not making any allegation. It is not my, finding that, until 2 o'clock the voting went about from 11:45. It is the clear media statement of the CEO of AP, who said in 3,500 booths, polling was still going on, and he added, the last person exercised their franchise at 2 a.m. So the sources are entirely the Election Commission of India and the CEO of Andhra Pradesh. That's one. The second thing is,
but sir, just allow me to interrupt you because I had a little doubt. You're saying that the Election Commission website says that the last vote was cast at 2 a.m. Now, how does one believe that? What is this exactly what Election Commission is doing? Because the voting process ends at 5 p.m. and if the last vote is being cast at 2 a.m., that is in the dead of the night, what does it go to show?
Yeah, that we need to dwell into a bit. I'll explain that. So first, let me lay out the figure. Because there's a lot of data involved in this, Neelu. I want to, I do not want the viewer to just switch off their mind, so that just to help the viewer to stay with the numbers, if you can kindly, put these things across, on the split screen, also on the screen, your monitor, and that will help. I'll tell you. See, the Election Commission, the Chief Electoral Officer, he told the media that by 5 o'clock, as of 5 o'clock, 68.04% votes were polled in the state. Then, the second parcel of time, as of 8 o'clock, the percentage of polling was 68.14. That means between 5 and 8, the increase was 0.08. 0.08. In gross voting, that would come to, across the state, 34,000 votes only. And we had 46,000 booths. Then what happened? From 8 to 11:45, another parcel of time, which the Election Commission has announced the data, it has gone up to 76.50. Adding, see, between 5 and 8, addition was only 34,000. But between 8 and 11:45, the addition was about 35 lakhs. You see? And then another even bigger mystery is from 11:45 in the night, just 15 minutes before midnight, till 2 a.m., as claimed by the Chief Electoral Officer, that the last person cast their vote at 2 a.m. By then, another increase was to 80.66. That means an addition of 4.16% of voting. That translates into the gross voting of 17,20,000. Now, there are two parcels of time we need to concentrate on. One, obviously, what happened between 11:45 and 2 a.m.? Then you raised a very valid question. When the polling closes at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, how are they voting? Well, see, there is a provision in the
Not only
conduct.
voting, but admitting it on the website also that, look, our last vote was cast at 2 a.m. That sounds a little horrendous.
Yes. You see, there is a small provision in the conduct of election rules that shows that anybody who entered the premises of the polling booth by that cutoff time is entitled to vote. So even if it is 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hours also, they have to be facilitated to vote. I can understand that. What is troubling is this, that polling comes to across 3,500 booths, 17,20,000 votes, comes to 491 votes per booth. Which means when the polling officially closed, each booth had 491 people waiting to vote in the premises. So they have to be admitted. But the rule also says when people are waiting, you facilitate them to vote, provided with the condition that the presiding officer will have to make a note in the presiding officer's diary that these many people are waiting. Second, they should all be given tokens. People are waiting. And the gate has to be closed so that nobody enters after the deadline. Another thing is the tokens have to be given in such a way, the token bearing number 1 will have to be given to the person at the end of the queue, so that there won't be -1 anybody entering after that. And the last number should be given to the person who is standing at the head of the queue, nearest to the polling booth. And anybody who is entering with that token, the token has to be verified and preserved for future verification. The last and important thing is, all these people who are waiting in the queue will have to be videographed in such a way that their faces are discernible, recognizable. Now, and this one more thing is that, somebody who voted at 2 a.m., Neelu, should have entered the queue at 6 p.m. at least. Which means from 6 p.m. to 12 is 6 hours, and another 2 hours, 8 hours that person was standing in the queue from 6 p.m. to 2 a.m. Is that at all possible? One. And if you argue that it is possible, show us the tokens, coupons, show us the footage, show us the presiding officer's diary. And why did not the election commission, because it goes on saying democracies, we celebrate this festival, so many people are waiting, 105-year-old person has come to vote, and all that. Why did you not even have one picture to show that but at 2 o'clock people are waiting and voting? You didn't show that. Okay. Then I'll tell you, I'll deepen the mystery. 491 votes cast between 11:45 and 2 a.m. means per booth it would be 491 votes. 491 votes cast in a booth in 135 minutes. 135 minutes to cast 491 votes. Per minute, one voter should enter and come out in 20 seconds. Because it works out to be 3.6 votes per minute. 3.6 voters per minute. Okay, let's say not 3.6 means one can say 4, but let's say conservative, let's put it at 3. Which means every 20 seconds, one voter exercised their franchise. Now, I'll just be for a while a fly on the wall and tell you what would have happened in the booth. A voter entered with a slip. Both the token as well as the voter slip, showed it to the polling party agents. Then polling officer number 1 showed, and the polling officer marks the voter's name against the voter's name and takes either signature or a thumb impression. Then this next polling officer would put indelible ink on the index finger. The next polling officer activates the machine. Then the voter goes to the compartment, presses the button, and then there's a dead time of 7 seconds for display and the VVPAT to fall down. Then, because we had Lok Sabha and Assembly together, then the voter will have to go to the second compartment, exercise another vote, and another dead time of 7 seconds and come out. Which means all this is in 20 seconds. In 20 seconds, 7 and 7, 14 seconds are dead time, which means in 6 seconds, the voter actually did all this and exercised the voting. Not only that, because in 6 seconds, the voter exercised twice Assembly and Lok Sabha, which means per vote it comes to 3 seconds, Neelu. This is one.
So shocking. I mean, I'm not able to believe this.
Yes.
I mean, how?
Well, I'll give me a minute. I'll deepen the mystery a little more for you. You see, if 68.04% votes were polled by 5 p.m., that means per booth it works out to be 606 votes. And then between 5 p.m. and 8 p.m., 0.08% polling, which means that works out to be only 7 votes in 3 hours. Only 7 votes in 3 hours, Neeluji. What were the people doing there? Because, you see, if you calculate 5 p.m. to 8 p.m., after 6 p.m., nobody should enter the queue, which means all this supposed to be 491 people were already waiting by 6 o'clock. Why when 491 people were waiting by 6 o'clock, you had only 7 votes polled in a booth in 3 hours. Okay. Then comes another deeper mystery is after 8 till 11:45, suddenly there is a surge, and in that booth, I'm looking at it from the point of view of the fly on the wall. In that booth, first till 5, 606 people came. From 5 to 8, 7 people came. From 8 to 11:45, 74 people came. And 11:45 to 2 a.m., 491 people came. Okay, keep that in mind. Another deeper mystery I'll tell you. If the booth strength, average booth strength in Andhra Pradesh is 891 votes. If you add 606, 7, 74, in order to reach 80.66, you have room only for 37 votes. But you claim 491 votes were polled. If 491 votes were polled, Neeluji, that makes those 3,500 booths polling, that puts it at 132%. 132%. 1,000.
Parakala sir, this really looks very mysterious. But the one question which comes to my mind is that 2024 Andhra Assembly elections happened along with the Lok Sabha election. But we did a lot of interviews with you on various platforms after that on Form 17 and several issues which were related to vote rigging and how the votes were spiked. But we did not speak to you about the Andhra specific numbers.
Yeah.
Are these numbers a new revelation, what you discovered in the course of time and now that you have laid it bare before the people?
You see, Neeluji, these are stunning figures. So when someone like me has to talk about this, they have to verify it at least 100 times. And I must add here, wherever I am prepared to stand up and be questioned, mercilessly questioned, every data point, every word that I speak, I'm prepared to be challenged. So I have to make sure so much, number one. Number two, we've talked about, I've been working on the Lok Sabha data, several groups were working on the Lok Sabha data, especially Vote for Democracy had worked on Lok Sabha data very intensively. Then we looked at Haryana, we looked at Maharashtra, we looked at Jharkhand, Bihar SIR, before SIR, after SIR. Then in that process, I just looked at the Andhra Pradesh data, and these are the things that struck me. I thought this needs to be probed. So I probed. Wow.
How much time did you, how much time did it actually take
For me to do this,
discover this, verify this, and come to a conclusion?
nearly 3 months, Neelaji. And after that also, I waited for another month because, you see, when I found these discrepancies, I wrote to the Election Commission of India.
Okay.
I found
When did you write? When did you write to the Election Commission?
I think it was sometime in mid-February.
Mid-February of 2026.
Yes.
All right. Okay.
Okay. But before that, there were so many representations given to the Election Commission of India by several civil society groups.
And this was Andhra specific?
Overall.
Yeah, that I'm aware of, yes.
Since 2019, but Election Commission doesn't respond. You have spoken to Mr. M.G. Dev Sahib several times. He must have told you how many petitions were given, how many memorandums were given. There was no reply. And the latest one is December 2024. After the elections, December 2024, Biju Janata Dal from Odisha had given a long, very well documented memorandum about the discrepancies.
Yes.
No response to. See, people like us is okay.
We'll show that as well. Yes.
And there are discrepancies between Form 20 and 17C, and discrepancies between Lok Sabha polling and Assembly polling, discrepancies between votes recovered from the EVM and votes polled as per the 17C. Several discrepancies were shown and nobody responded. Today, Election Commission sources saying that what were these people doing for so long? Were they sleeping? I can tell you, with no offense to anybody, this is a pure lie. Please stop these lies. Now, let me make another point, Neelaji. See,
latest data about Andhra Pradesh, where you said that you wrote to Election Commission in the mid of February. After that, did you hear from the Election Commission any response?
No, not at all. Not at all. And I wrote about this only after waiting for about 20, for 3 weeks after I've written. 3 weeks I waited and then published an article in the Wire. Till then because I just wanted to, maybe, they have an explanation, credible explanation. But in the absence of an explanation, and after time and again verifying, and also showing it to 2-3 data specialists, then I thought that this should be revealed to the public.
It's really mind-boggling. I mean, I'm for a moment, I'm just stunned after you explained all this. And what I'm not able to still figure out is that if so much of voting is happening in the middle of the night, how is Election Commission, and if it is there on their website where they are saying that people are casting vote till 2 a.m., how on earth will they justify? And even if they are putting out the data on their website, what will they say? And they never thought that this would be caught. And they actually thought that nobody is going to go through the website. They also must have thought that nobody will scan the data like this.
Yeah, probably. Brazen. You see, in crime fiction, generally the rule is 2 things. One, the criminal or murderer usually leaves a clue behind. Unintentionally. That is the one. Even Sherlock Holmes relies on that. That's one. The second thing is, now
you call this as a crime thriller. What we are all seeing.
Neeluji, it's a murder of democracy. It's a murder of my right to vote.
It is.
And there's one more thing. When they say, what were you doing for the last 2 years? I have an answer for that. As I said, we've been giving representation. Leave that aside. There's one more thing I wanted to tell your viewers to you is this. In a mature democracy, an election commission which talks about gold standards and platinum standards. Now, when we point out a discrepancy, is this your best defense to say that what were you doing yesterday? Is that the best defense? It's a laughable number. Number two, you can question me, why didn't you do it earlier if I'm asking you to cancel the election or asking you to declare somebody else is the winner? I'm not asking for that. My prayer is very simple, Neeluji. I am asking, please explain how is it manually possible, unless you're non-biological, how is it possible for anybody to cast a vote in 3 seconds? That's exactly what I want. You tell me. And can you show me the evidence in terms of video footage, in terms of tokens, in terms of presiding officer's diary? Can you show me the evidence that 491 people waited after 6 o'clock? That's all. I'm not asking you to cancel the verdict. I'm not asking you to declare somebody else as the winner. I'm not saying that. So, and who am I to say? You're not a political party. You're not a political party agent. You're not a candidate. Look, this democracy is for me. As a citizen, elections are conducted not for political parties. Elections are conducted for the people of India and Republic of India. And election is not a game played among political parties and Election Commission of India. We are not spectators. We are the people of India. We have a stake in it. Our vote given by the Constitution. So this is my claim to ask you to answer me, because in 2023, there was a clear direction from the Supreme Court of India that Election Commission of India is answerable to the people of India. It is not answerable to the government. It is not answerable merely to the political parties or the candidates. No, it is answerable to me as much as it is answerable to you.
I'm really stunned at this data, and I really don't know what to say. But in a nutshell, if I were to ask you, Mr. Prabhakar, that how scary is this? I mean, people voting in the dead of the night when the voting process closes down at 5 p.m. And beyond that, what all is happening within the walls of the Election Commission, or if I may say, within within the sanctum sanctorum of that Election Commission website, or I don't know how to put it across, but it's something really mysterious which is happening.
True. Very true. It's scary. It's scary because it's just murder. It's robbery and amounting to murder of democracy in this country.
No, but people generally have a tendency to, just trash this as a conspiracy theory, that, these are people who are always doubting the process. This is what the general and the cliched answer always comes across. That
okay. I mean, see, I have expressed it out. You tell me how it is possible. You explain it to me. Give me a credible explanation, either sources of Election Commission or Election Commission itself. Somebody should tell me. One more thing I tell you. Look at the strike rates and the percentage of voting that was obtained by each political party and the number of seats that they gained. So this leads you to another thing. It's done, this kind of an operation, I think, is done targeted way in select constituencies. I'll tell you, I'll give you, as an illustration, I'll give you. Telugu Desam Party got 45.6 votes, 6% vote in the state. They won 135 seats. Okay. Janasena Party won only 6.87% of votes, and they won 21 seats. BJP had only 2.8% vote, and they won 8 seats. YSRCP won 39.37%, but they received only 11 seats. So BJP, which had 2.83, got 8 seats. YSRCP, which got 39.3, got only 11 seats. Janasena Party, which polled only 6.87%, won 21 seats. YSRCP, which polled 39%, got only 11 seats. Now, let's look at, for a while, the strike rate. TDP strike rate was 94%. 94% of the seats they contested, they won. Janasena Party's strike rate, can you believe? 100%. They contested 21 seats, won all the 21 seats. BJP's strike rate was 80%. YSRCP's strike rate was 6.2%. With 39 points percent vote. See, but let me say this. I'm not worried about who won the election, who lost the election. My analysis is winner, loser, agnostic. I'm only questioning the integrity of the electoral process. I don't care who got the vote, but is the vote correctly cast? As they're saying, is it possible for you to cast a vote in 3 seconds? This is my question. Is it possible? What is the evidence for me believing somebody who's saying all these people are doubting? Yes, my doubt is show me the evidence of 491 people waiting outside the booth at 6 o'clock. And also tell me, this is the person who entered at 6 o'clock and this is the same person cast their vote at 2 a.m. waiting for 8 hours in the queue. Just show me the evidence, that's all.
And are you hopeful you'll they'll give you a proof or they will try and clarify your doubts?
No way. I don't think. See, the Election Commission is completely shut down. They don't answer, they don't meet people, they don't receive any memoranda, they don't reply to any memoranda or representation. It's just gone. It's incommunicado. Once in a while, they hold a press conference and that's it.
Press conferences and source-based planted stories that, look, this is what we are doing. But my last two questions with you, Mr. Prabhakar, is that, after you've revealed this data, which is very, very Andhra Pradesh specific, how 17 lakh votes were cast, during the dead of the night, and every 6 seconds if the vote is being cast, and if this is actually being done, and to which Election Commission doesn't seem to have any answers, what is the guarantee that the same thing is not going to be replicated in states like in West Bengal, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Puducherry, Assam? All these states are going to polls. Few states already have an SIR process, which is still not complete. Look what is happening in West Bengal. So is this the pattern which is going to be followed by the Election Commission now in the polls which are coming?
Deadly combination of this and SIR.
Okay. So it's going to be more lethal. So it's going to be more lethal.
It's a double whammy.
Okay.
And Neelaji, one more thing is that SIR is taking out a lot of voters out of the voters list. You know that. Then remaining, whether they vote for you or not, if this happens, selectively 3,500 booths or 4,000 booths or whatever, if this can be engineered, then you can imagine. Then let me give you a heads up. We have preliminary data now with me. Similar pattern in Odisha. And in very short time, maybe 2 to 3 weeks, I'll speak to you again about the Odisha data and similar pattern.
Okay.
So which means your doubt of whether it could be done in other states which are going to polls now will be corroborated, because this has now become a pattern. And similar thing has happened in Maharashtra also, Haryana also. I pointed out, we've discussed that also.
Yes. I really am running short of words now after listening to this mystery. And as you put out rightly, that it looks like a crime thriller. It's a murder of democracy. And how that murder of democracy is taking place in the dead of the night. It really reminds you of the Sherlock Holmes series and how the investigation was done. And you're really proving out to be a Sherlock Holmes, Mr. Prabhakar. But I really don't know why the Election Commission is so silent, why it doesn't want to answer. And of course, that deepens the mystery further. Because if you have doubts and if those doubts are not clarified, and especially when the doubts are related to the democracy of the country, your own voting rights, and if you're not getting answers, then no one but the Election Commission is to be blamed for this. And I'm sure we're going to wait for more revelations from you, Mr. Prabhakar, as you said that you will make more revelations related to Odisha as well. So thank you so much. We'll have to edit here and we look out for more revelations from you. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thanks.